Mr. Luna, he might be the oversight. He's been doing a pretty good job of finding out where the money is being spent. I think the toilet rolls is a fine place to start in the relationship that one person
Mr. Grant,
is using a roll a week. So I think that generally speaking, we need to start right at the bottom and straighten this thing out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grant.
An EDA should come first.
Our next speaker is Brian Mendigo. Brian.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. I didn't realize I would be speaking today until this morning. I would address more appropriately, so I apologize in advance for that. However, I am here about Ordinance 884, which we all know a lot about, and I just want to tell you a little bit about my experience with a recent protest at Golden Era Productions that took place this past Sunday, Mother's Day. And before we went to Golden Era Productions, we went to Panda Express, which is a nearby eatery, and we were there waiting for another couple of people to show up to meet us, and then we would all go together. And interestingly, 2 police vehicles pulled up, and 4 uniformed officers and a person dressed in black civilian clothing came into the Panda Express, and I recognized one of them immediately as the arresting officer that affected the arrests on Mark Bunker and another individual a couple months before at Golden Era Productions. And at first I thought possibly just a unique coincidence that we were there and they were there, and it wasn't until afterwards that I realized that it seemed like it may have been something more than that, because well, first of all, let me just back up. One of the people that was arrested that day, a couple months ago, was with us. He was one of the protesters on Sunday, and he went up to speak with the arresting officer just to let him know that the charges were ultimately dropped, and it was much ado about nothing ultimately. But they had a conversation which is was recorded and is now, should be by now, uploaded fully to YouTube, and that ended sort of unpleasantly, which is a separate matter. But ultimately what happened is they left without ordering food, which was to me very curious, because if they did indeed come to order food and they left without ordering it, something either went wrong. The disagreement was so harsh between the protester that was arrested and the arresting officer that they decided it was just too dramatic to stay to eat, or their sole purpose for coming to the Panda Express was to either intimidate or to see who indeed was coming. One thing I failed to mention was that we did alert the local law enforcement officials that we would be protesting this day, because we want to just make sure everything stays safe and that we're doing everything according to the law and the new ordinance. And so when they showed up and they left without ordering food, and this person dressed in black civilian clothes left and took a picture of a protester that was outside of the Panda Express, I found it very curious, the way these events unfolded, and it leads me to wonder if this is even a proper conduct for the law enforcement agency to be doing such a thing. And I think it's also possible to find out if they were there for lunch. I think they may need to check in with their superiors to say, look, we're going to lunch. And that's something that we're looking to find out now, because if indeed they were there for the sole purpose to find out who we were, who and what we were planning to do, or to intimidate, that is completely unacceptable. And that's what we experienced.
Thanks for reporting that, Mr. Mendigo. I'm sorry your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Francois Choquette is our next speaker, followed by Judy Walls.
I did. Hello. Good. All right, thank you for letting me speak. I just put a picture up here. Do you know who that guy is? No? All right, I'm not really surprised. Let me give you a better view of him. Okay. Does this ring a bell? No? All right. Turns out he's Time Magazine's most influential person. He made the top of the list. Top 100 influential person. He beat Barack Obama, the Dalai Lama. He beat everybody. Pretty amazing, isn't it? This is even more amazing right here. Can we see this? Okay. His name is Moot. His real name is something else, of course. But not only did he win, but look at all the other names below him. And it spells something. It spells marble cake, also the game. All right? I'll let you look up the meaning of marble cake. But this is pretty amazing stuff. I see you smiling this as well, and I think you could smile, but you should probably fear this more than anything else. The way this was done was a technique called precision hacking. And they had this little computer program that made 5,000 votes a second and kept on voting and organized everybody in the correct order. I think it's pretty fascinating stuff. Here's some of the other stunts that were done. This guy, Rick Astley, from he's an 80s pop star, was voted best act ever. Well, it's kind of cheesy music, it's okay, but best act ever, I'm not sure. By the way, this is all going to have meaning for all of you in a minute. On Obama's Change.gov website, the number one item was ending marijuana prohibition. And I think Obama might have more important things than that, but it made the top out of 44,000 suggestions. Suggestion number 9 was to revoke the tax-exempt status of the Church of Scientology. That's pretty amazing, out of 44,000 suggestions. Now, let me show you something else. If you followed the Republican politics of 2008, you may remember the AOL poll, and each state had a preferred candidate. Let me show you this map. For several months, Ron Paul was ahead. He was my favorite candidate. And one time, Rudy Giuliani started trashing Ron Paul, and I was pretty upset with that. So I decided that Rudy Giuliani should win Alaska. I sent Rudy Giuliani to Alaska for an evening. I think all this stuff is pretty important from the standpoint that what happens on the Internet is...
Seconds.
Say again?
You have 10 seconds.
Okay. What happens on the Internet is very important. You should be very concerned about that. Your siding with the Church of Scientology is just... Okay. All right. I'll probably finish next time. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for coming. Julie Walter next, followed by Lyra Bishop.
Leave this on.